I'd like to call the meeting to order. We'd all stand for the Lord's Prayer, please. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, Kim, everyone's present and Pat's excused.
All right, you don't need a roll call then. All right.
Mel, what do you have for us?
I guess I'll start out with, I handed you an envelope that has some of the items I want to touch on for tonight. I guess I'll just work them off here in order. Start out, I'm going to let Daryl chime in here some too on this, just to kind of wrap up where we're at with the Google setup and the emails and the migration. And I gave you a copy of a few papers there to go along with that with some explanation. And we said at this point, if it's okay, I'll let Daryl tell you where we're at with that.
Been a long journey with some bumps in the road. We contacted Google and they told us that unless you had 10 or more employees, they really didn't want to deal direct. That's their policy. So they recommended us to go to a separate company, one of the resellers. Well, that company gave us a price of $5,000 just to start the conversation. So at that point, I came back and said, let me actually contact Google physically and see if they'll work with us, just because, you know, I've done the rollover for the local school and also for some other companies. And at that time, they did agree to work with us directly, so we didn't have to go that route of spending a lot more than we had to. That being said, we got the roads email all brought down from the former host and imported into Google. We now have zoning all brought up and imported and brought over to the Google world. And we created a new email for the board, the trustees, and then we also created a fiscal email too. So that way we can start having emails that belong in-house. Then we also moved the website over, so now when you go to www.fairfieldtownship.ohio.com, it actually goes there and stays at that page. It doesn't redirect you to a Google site. It's still the same site, just we fixed the DNS and the directory of that website. At this point, I'm still moving some files over, but we're about, I'd say we're 89% done, because now it's just behind the scenes work that nobody's going to notice. Just as we move the existing archive files back into place, the website's still active, the ARC files are still there, but what we're concerned is if the old hosting company takes it down, those files will be dead links. So those will be probably wrapped up in the next couple of weeks. But other than that, we got it moved over and rolled over, and like I said, we're ready to button it up. So it's
Okay. You two happy with it?
Very. He is amazing.
Yeah, it's worked well, and Daryl, we appreciate your efforts, because I know it took some time to get everything restructured and back over into the township site. And we appreciate it. Now going forward, we have that domain, and we can utilize the email here. So
I also we may want to look at utilizing some of the other domain names, because you can actually get the .gov name, and that, you know, there's some hoops to jump through for, but that makes it, you can actually own Fairfield Township .gov, which, you know, is a little more sought after for when you're in a government entity. And that one is available, and I've sent them some of that information over. So not a decision that needs to be made right away, but just something we may want to look at to have, because you'll keep the existing one and that one, they'll just all point to the same place.
I'll go right to it, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that way we have one website that has multiple entries.
Well, we probably going to start looking at it now. I mean, while we're talking about it.
Yeah, and as I said, I've already got the
So I
Send
see
the ball
Kim's
rolling.
notes, .org is open and then .gov also, so
Org is more for organizations,
Yep.
like, but .gov will allow you to. That's the true official.
Yeah.
There's only one register in Ohio or in the United States that actually is allowed to
And
register those domains.
if I can ask, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, we've talked about it, one of the reasons I wanted to jump on, especially .org, is if I'm not mistaken, pretty much anyone can reserve that
Yeah,
within reason.
.org, anyone can do that.
And what you have to watch is someone else could take it, I hate to sound like that, but for nefarious purposes. And, it's probably not gonna happen, but I'd like to have it for the $8 or $10 a year, just to prevent someone else from taking it and putting confusing information out. .gov is a little harder to get. I think you have to prove
you are who you are.
you are who you are, but .org can be snapped up by anybody, so.
And it's like the schools, why we have .k12.oh.us, that's how they work that.
No one else can pretend to be Crestview Schools, right?
Well, then it'd probably be prudent to take the .org too.
Yeah, that's what we had, I've already done the. legwork
Yeah,
on
he's
this
got
one.
it already.
Okay.
So
I think we should take them both.
Yeah. What's involved with the .gov?
you have to actually send an official letterhead and some information that, basically, you guys have to all sign it, send it off, and then they will call in here to verify that it come from here, just some verification process.
Yeah,
Other than that, just some paperwork back and forth, and then it's done. Then it's a recurring, as we run into, a lot more of these places are wanting to go to electronic billing or to recurring, automated drawing. So that's another thing, they want to have that ability to, once you commit, that until you tell them to stop renewing, that they'll continue to renew.
All right, and you can do that?
Yeah, I mean, I can work with, like we
Is
do
there
with
a
this.
cost for that?
Yeah, there is. There's what they call the registrar cost. And that's this company that's put in charge of managing this for the government. Of course, they have their fees for doing that. And I think it's on that sheet that I sent over.
Is it a little fee or a big fee?
No, I think it's 100 and some a year. So it's not.
Yeah, it's more, I mean,
It's more than the normal.
the normal are so cheap that you're like,
This
whatever.
involves red tape and government, so you have to add a little bit.
All right.
And I do have to brag him up a little bit, and I'll let him go. He is very good at this, because what he very happily showed me, was it last week, is there are other Fairfield townships. And Daryl apparently made it his personal mission to make sure that we came up top, and was very proud of that. Like, if you Google Fairfield.
Search, beautiful.
Yes, Butler County or whatever
They're
has
still number
not.
one, but I'm gonna knock them off.
You're gonna knock him off. I mean, he is like, it's like a, he's watching a sporting
we're
event.
front page already. If you Google search Fairfield Township, we're front page.
It's like, and I don't know, I don't want to know who he had to kill. I'm just saying he made it happen. Very
Search
impressive.
engine optimization is what I used to do for a former company, so I enjoy doing that.
Well, I think we need to lock them all up,
Okay.
and then that just protects
Yeah,
our
just-
site.
And like I say, the .gov is the one that's, put your stamp of because there's benefits to having that down the road. Like if you're submitting for a certain grants and stuff like that, that come from a registered government entity. And .coms don't always come across it. You have to actually do some legwork done. So it does have its benefits.
Okay. Well, we probably have a resolution to that effect, authorizing him to do the .org and the .gov.
All right. How do I do that? How
We'll
does she
write it
know?
down.
We'll write it down, but doesn't she number them, or will she just fill it in later?
Well, we'll fill in the number
Okay.
later.
How does she do it? Resolution to
Yeah, just
register?
authorizing Daryl.
Resolution
to pursue
authorizing.
The .org and the .gov.
Right, and then does she?
And then
say-
you'll come back with the information and
Yeah,
Whatever
all the
we go
official
for.
forms and all that. Yeah, we'll do that. Like I said, then once now everyone's getting settled into it, we'll do some training down the road too. So.
Right.
Do we have to do the motion?
So, Carl, was that your motion?
Yes, my motion.
I'll second that, Kim.
Thank you. And then, do we roll call vote it?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Barry Minor?
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you.
And Daryl, you want your invoice paid?
Yeah.
Yes.
How much more cost do you think we're gonna have involved?
That's it.
That's it?
That's for the Google
Okay.
rollover, yeah.
All right. Okay. So I need a resolution authorizing the township to pay this bill.
Second.
All right, Hum,
Yes.
Garwood,
Yes.
Minor.
Yes. Daryl, thanks again for the efforts you put forth. You know, I think you did a fantastic job for the township. We look forward to working with you in the future. So.
Yes. Yeah, that's your copies to keep. Like, everything you have, Pat has a copy of.
All right, Mel, what else do you have?
Next, I need to set the date for tire cleanup day, because the form's due back on the 15th in order to get in time for advertising through the CCH Environmental Group. So in the past, we've always done it the first Thursday of May. I would like to continue with that date. That would be May 5th, and we've always gone noon to 5. And of course, we always advertise, and we can do that later. The tires are to be passenger or light truck tires. They must be clean, dry, off rims, and with a limit of 10 per household, and you must be a Fairfield Township resident. So I would like to get a resolution to set that date.
Second.
All right, Hum,
Yes.
Garwood,
Yes.
Minor.
Yes.
Thank you.
And unless,
And
Yes.
Kim, you can put this on the
Yeah, I'm
website.
doing it now, actually.
and was there any changes or anything you guys wanted to do? I mean, I think what we've been doing is,
Well, we've seen the number of tires decline over the years.
For
so
sure.
The program's working. And are you finding less tires?
yeah, oh, absolutely. As far as roadside, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely less tires.
You know, the other cleanup that they have here too, you know, the 140-yard roll-off, I don't think would be near enough.
Yeah, I'm not sure what
What do
we'd
you
be
think?
opening, I'm not sure what we'd be opening up with that.
Just that 40-yard roll-off just scares me, because you get into that and you just don't know. I think the tire program is good.
It's basically for junk. I'm not sure what we'd be opening up ourselves up to there. And this, you know, it's because it's no electronics or anything like that. It's just, like, they're giving an example as furniture and mattresses and stuff like that, so.
You know, the electronics, I didn't realize, you know, sometimes, you know, people wonder where to get rid of their electronics. I know Mahoney County, they do a lot of intake, and I'd see that,
Well, Green Township
yeah,
has a lot up there.
but the CCH will basically take electronics. So
Correct.
maybe we could put that on the web too, Kim?
It's a good
Is
idea.
it the
phone
same
number?
day?
No, it's just basically, they won't accept electronics from residents, but they can contact the district office in Carrollton. So at least it would be a telephone number.
So that's an ongoing thing?
Yes.
Yeah, can you go on and see?
Yeah, actually, when people call here, that's, a lot of times I give them that number.
Yeah.
What, do you have their number right in front of you?
330?
Oh, wait, he's got it. Perfect. 'Cause we'll add it to our links. We link to a lot of useful. Perfect. Yeah.
All right, we get that one done?
Mm-hmm. Passed.
Next, I gave you a copy of the letter from Columbiana County Engineers Office for the chip seal meeting. I highlighted the date and time there for us. And by next meeting, I'll have completed our list that we're going to, for your review and approval before we go to that meeting. I don't have the list done yet as far, I mean, I got a pretty good idea what roads we're doing. And I just got my hands on this recently, so I'll finish putting that together so you can review it and approve it next meeting.
Well, I'll be there. I already put it on.
Okay.
I should be able to, Mal, unless something comes up. I know right now I don't have anything, so.
And the next thing on the list there, I gave you a copy, that Pat wanted me to give you a copy of the Comcast franchise fee payment, just so you could see what they had paid to us, and that's been taken care of as far as taking to the bank. And the next thing, Bob, you probably know more about it than I do. She just asked me to present this to see if you guys were going to pass a resolution to do this.
I want to, I prepared this resolution because we had a young lady pass away that was indigent. And there was a death certificate attached to it, to the one that I gave Pat, as well as the...
I have that if you want to view
Oh,
it.
do you?
Yeah.
Well, it's got some personal information
Okay.
on it. But, and also the bill from the funeral home, she was cremated at $998. And we're required under the code 9.15A, we're responsible for it. The City of Columbiana's had a couple here recently. I really don't want to pass this tonight because my conversation with Pat, we don't have a line item on it. It's going to come out of the general fund. We have a line item as it relates to the cemeteries and all the other things. So I would prefer to make sure we set that up first before we pay this. And I talked to Pat, I think 3 times today, and this didn't come up today with that. So once we know where she wants to take it from, then we'll pass this, and maybe at the next meeting we can do it.
Okay.
Because I think what we're gonna have to do is, our general fund, we're just gonna have to budget so much on a
Right.
line item. Because I think we're gonna have more of these. The city of Salem's just been inundated, but they're from heroin. Heroin does. So this is just for your information.
And then the last thing was just a copy of the Columbiana's fire
Okay.
bill there. That's for your viewing, whatever you want to call it. Okay, and then as far as
And these items are for Pat.
she had me make copies of it to get to you guys. Kind of a combination between me and Pat, I guess.
Okay. All right. So
So
I told her, listen, we'll help her out as much as we possibly can until she gets back on her feet.
the stuff that we talked about that we needed to bring up, so that's what that was. And then we briefly discussed it before meeting there about the truck. So, and I talked to Pat about this, and you probably saw the stack of checks she needed to check out for it. So she would like to have a resolution passed to release that check upon my approval for the installation of the hydraulic system hoist and bed on the 2016. And I kind of told you that we were supposed to deliver it the first of next week. And upon that delivery and my approval of the work and the changes, because when I went out and looked at it, everything else was really great. I was really pleased with the work, the quality of work they did, and really did it in a pretty timely fashion. We've had trucks on other places that's taken a lot longer to get done. Once they had the bed was a holdup at the beginning. So when these, the auger control, once that problem has been corrected, I'd like to be able to go ahead and mail them their check.
Okay. So we need a resolution to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
Hum,
Yes.
Garwood,
Yes.
Minor.
Yes.
Who are you paying exactly?
Dexter Company.
With, just like it sounds.
Yep. Okay. Also, received the shipment of the signs through the ODOT grant. And I've sorted through the shipment and compared it with the shipping order and the original sign order. And out of all those signs, they only missed one, so I thought that was pretty good.
Where's the post?
Don't have no post yet. Still waiting on post. So anyway, they're supposed to get me this one more sign that they're gonna owe me, but like I said, all things said, that was pretty good with all the amount of signs that were there. And I've taken care of filing necessary paperwork with the ODOT contact that I have to do after I receive each set shipped. And as far as like what the road crew and I have been out doing, we've been out to salt the road a few times since last meeting. Spent several days cleaning and chipping up down trees and branches from that wet, heavy snow we had, and then some strong winds recently. Actually, before performing that work, I did go and purchase protective chaps and helmets for each road worker to have while we're doing this type of work. I know that's something we talked about, so.
Right.
Where'd you get them now?
Ace Hardware, and actually cut me a little price deal on Husqvarna ones. They were pretty nice. So.
Well, it's nice that you thought of nowadays, bring them right middle. and
Right there in the middle.
Basically, you want those. Nice.
Yeah.
What's the material? Just nylon?
Kevlar.
Kevlar.
Yeah, it's nylon on top and there's Kevlar inside of it. So it has all the OSHA ratings on it and stuff, so they're good ones.
Good.
We also did the February sign inspection, and during that time unplugged several culverts from a heavy rain we'd had the previous day prior to doing the inspection. And we also finished making replacement augers for the 6-inch salt spreaders from the materials I'd purchased from Oaks Welding. And we made a couple nice days there. We went around and patched holes throughout the township where they needed, not a lot, just a few here and there, with some cold mix. And on some inclement days, we did a lot of, we serviced a few trucks and did some repair work on a couple different trucks that needed some hydraulic lines. And I had to get front springs put on the 96, just some things like that, routine stuff. And I did talk to Bob Durbin about the culverts. He was kind of surprised that guy hadn't contacted me yet. And that was last week when I talked to him. And I still haven't heard from that guy, so I'll have to call again, I guess. So that's where that's at.
Well, it just would be nice to figure out where the responsibility is so we can start our program and we start at the right place. So,
Right.
thanks for asking. Keep on it if you would, please.
I will. And that's all I have for tonight.
Okay. Kim?
We basically touched on all my news with Daryl, so I can pass.
All right.
Thank you.
Carl? How was the left coast?
Great. The temperature was 75 to 90.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what Mimi thought.
Anything else?
Everything's fine.
Barry?
Yeah, just real quick, Bob, we spoke briefly about that.
Yeah.
And just with her absence, as a board, I know if there's anything that we can do, and I know everybody's gonna pull together and try to help that. My concern is that she gets too far behind and then it's gonna overwhelm her in some of her duties trying to recuperate. You know, because I'm sure there's time frames and guidelines that need to be posted as far as a fiscal officer's duties to the state. Do we need to do anything in this meantime to maybe try to get some help from somebody? Because too, I don't want Pat to come home and then be totally overwhelmed. Because there's going to be a lot that she has to do. And I know we're keeping up to some degree, but there's still some reporting requirements that I don't know if she's going to be able to do those while she's there. You know, what do you think? Is there...
Well, she's a separate elected official,
Correct.
and I think she's well aware of what her duties are. And I've been in contact with her nearly on a daily basis.
I'm sure.
Because I don't want it to go too long. And she had a nice report today from the doctor. So what we need to do is get her home, and they have what they call a visiting clerk program.
We talked about
run through the state. She's had that before when she had her knees replaced. And I think that's probably the best way to go, because it is on her money. So it's been something that I've been thinking about, and I share your concern.
Because
But I think that's the best way to go, be that way.
Yeah, because I just don't want Pat to be overwhelmed and going
Right.
through what she is, you know. So if there's something that we need to do as a board, please keep us apprised, because you're right. Statutorily, it's a separate office, and we can, but we can also provide her some support, and I know you know that.
Right.
You know, so, you know.
And we can also, we can hire somebody separate. I'm kind of waiting on her to give me a prognosis.
Right.
Because it's only been a couple of weeks, less than a month. So-
Right.
But I want to stay on top of it.
Because I looked at, she was here the 4th, and then, you know,
She should have just left the mail in the mailbox.
left the mail in the mailbox. So,
So-
and I know everybody's concern is the same,
Right.
and I'm not trying to bring anything up adverse. It's just my concern first and foremost is for Pat. And then 2, to make sure that the township stays with their statutory requirements, because that, as a trustees, that's what we need to do. So, you know, if you need any help, you know, the auditor's liaison, you know, we could talk to Jimmy Armini and see, because I'm sure he deals with this in other municipalities, other
Oh,
cities, other townships. So
Yeah.
if there's anything, please let me know, and I'd be more than willing to help do something.
Well, Pat knows that she can call any of us for assistance.
Okay.
So she's well aware of that. And this is a team effort here anyhow, so.
It always has been.
Yep.
So, you know,
So we'll get it done.
if there's
So we're
things-
just not quite there yet,
Okay.
because I would like to get her home, because you've been in her office at home,
Yes.
and I know you've been there numerous times. And Pat's the only one that knows where everything is.
And I wonder too, just with the UAN, you know, in thinking about this, if there's, I'm sure there's, most of her information is probably in the UAN system. So I don't know how much they would really need from her physical residence as to just reaching out for help. I would think that a lot of that stuff for the township is out on UAN, that somebody could do that remotely. I would hope in today's technology.
Because she's the fiscal officer. so
Correct.
I don't want her job, so we have to defer.
I'm right there with you.
All right, anything else?
Just the chip seal mill, you want to sit down someday and we can kind of discuss, because I know we had some of the issues with the loose stone, and see how we want to attack some of that stuff. And,
Yeah.
you know, if you want any input or help or anything like that. And then last night, the Township Association meeting, the LTAP came up. A gentleman from ODOT was actually, well, we did the sign grants. I forget his name last night, but he was a part of the sign grant program that day in Columbus. Just talking about the LTAP, you know, one thing that sparked my interest was the safety, as to whether we could get, you know, like Perry or 3 or 4 other townships and maybe try to get some type of safety training in different categories. because, you know, that LTAP is out there. I forgot to bring the form, it's in my truck.
Well, I gave him the package. Mel's got the
Yeah,
entire
he just gave you the
package that he
package.
handed out.
So there's some pretty neat stuff out there that maybe we could sit down and look, and maybe I could work with some other townships, and, you know, we could get them in here for some of the safety stuff. You know, it's tough for them to come for 4 people, but they can come for 20.
Right.
You
One
know,
year
we have-
down at, not to interrupt you, but several years ago, down in Middleton Township, LTAP came down and put on a seminar for snow fighting. And there was multiple townships there, kind of, you know, in that same line of thinking.
So maybe we can discuss that.
Yeah.
Come on someday, we sit down, look at some of that. That kind of sparked my interest. Just a couple other things in there too, but just looking at some of that stuff, so.
Well, last night, he really expressed a willingness for, they're willing to travel, because he traveled 3 hours just to come to the meeting
Yeah.
to put on his presentation. So they really want to kind of, they're like an unknown secret. No one knows about what they do. I mean, we
There's
hear
federal
about,
funds there.
yeah, we hear about workers' comp wanting to provide rural programs and that. So will these folks. And if the group's large enough, they'll travel here.
Yeah.
Gave us another crash report too, that one, basically how we depicted where we're gonna enhance the signing
Yeah.
most. So
Right.
like the same crash report we got for the signs.
And there's a copy of that in the book.
Here.
Yeah, I think there's some in there, and I made a copy
Oh.
for everybody for that also. But I think there's 2 in that package.
And other than that, Bob, that's all I have, sir.
Good. Make sure you have, I'm pretty sure there's 2 in there.
If there's not, if you go on ODOT's website and go to the LTAP,
Right.
you can pull that up,
Yes.
that crash. I've gone on there.
Ken, who's,
Yep, there is one there as well.
whose signature did you say?
That's Gary Cusick.
Oh, Greg.
Yeah, otherwise known as Greg, AKA Greg.
So how are you working out with your new position?
I'm acclimating.
Acclimated?
Yeah, workload's been tremendous.
A lot of stress,
Yeah.
burning tires, you know.
No, we don't have tires to burn. They bring them here and they drop them off, so we don't worry too much about tires.
All right, Troy,
Yes,
present.
yes. If I may, I came because I had an issue discussed with some rainfall drainage issues on my property, between my property and Copeland Hills Golf Course. And I called the office the other day and they told me to start here. And I'm just looking for some help and guidance on that. I brought some photos, I can get into details on it if you need to, but I just need to know where to begin with that, or what kind of help I can expect from the township for this.
Where in proximity to the Copeland do you?
I purchased Fred Graffy's house. If you remember that, so out there, right between Metz Road and Kelly Park there, and they have some runoff where it's actually channeling over onto my property, and there used to be a drain that was there, but it has progressively gotten worse because it's collapsed and it can't handle all the water that's being brought in there. It heads right towards my detached garage, and it just gets worse every year with the spring coming. And with the issues with the golf course right now, up for sheriff's sale, and hoping maybe now's the time to look into it. If there's going to be new owners, what can be done about that?
Has that gone back in the sheriff's center?
I don't know.
Tax? I haven't seen it.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know it was
I don't know
in
if the
for
legal
tax
stands.
last fall, and then something happened, and I haven't seen it yet legally, so I don't know where it stands as far as that goes.
But it's in the backyard, because you're on 164, right?
Yeah, I'm on 164, so it's in the
Right.
back.
And
The
there's-
solution I can see is quite easy. I mean, there's a ravine that goes off, and with a creek that's down below, and it could be easily a swale, maybe 30 feet, I'm guessing. It could take it over that way and right down into that creek that's down there, rather than through the property. And I'm on a shared drive too, so it runs down there and it causes problems with some of my other neighbors on there. Water runs over top of the
Yeah,
driveway. and flushes
unfortunately,
as well.
we're not permitted to make improvements on private property. And if I'm understanding right, because I know where Dr. Grappy lived, and I'm familiar that there's one of the holes right behind, one of the greens behind the house, right? But it sits up
Yes.
higher. Yeah, so the water's running off the course.
Oh yes, just running off the course off the, it forms like a stream, and on heavy rains it's more like a river. It
Right,
becomes,
right.
you know, it's not like it's just general water, it's actually getting channeled over there, so.
Mhm.
I'd be more than glad to come out and
Okay.
take a look at it. You know, as Bob said though, as far as private property goes, we really don't have that legal authority as far as township trustees to come in and deal with a private property issue, since it is back out of the right of way. Be more than glad to come out and take a look at it.
All right.
You know, I think if I remember back up on Crescent Road, didn't we have soil and water come in, Mel?
Yeah.
Maybe when Denny was here.
Yeah, up on the dead end section in Unionville.
Yes.
Yeah.
They at least come out and looked and talked about it, so there is an avenue that if it's causing some issues, you know, it might be with soil and water. But I
Could-
mean,
You're not supposed to direct your surface water onto somebody else's property.
Right.
And we've had this a couple of times.
I've always referred people, Carl and I went out
Over to Salem.
to Soil and
Soil
Water.
and Water,
I don't want
Salem.
to speak for them, but they're very helpful, and they are generally the ones, they're out of Salem.
Yes, I gave them a call actually as well. I called the county engineer and he directed me over to them, and I talked to Pete Conkle over there.
Yes.
Right.
And he said to start with you guys because he doesn't know about zoning, you know, jurisdiction and
Right.
what to do about that, so that's why I came here tonight then.
Saturday, I don't know if you'll be around Saturday
Yes,
in the afternoon.
yes,
How about after the meeting, I get your number, and I'll give you a call, and I come out and take a look at it.
very good, okay. All right, thank you.
Because Soil and Water's done a nice job with the other individuals that we've had here
Okay.
with that.
Yeah, like I said, being spring, and like I said, I figured now's the time, even with, if it does get purchased by a new owner, I didn't know if there was any type of procedures where you guys could intercede, or like that this has to be taken care of or something upon an inspection. When it changes ownership, it just seems like that's a place that sometimes you can start with. At least that's what I was thinking, and that's why I came to ask and find out. so.
See, we don't have that type of zoning in place, even though we do have zoning, it doesn't.
If they
go
were
that
coming
far.
in as a new business, we would, but because they're essentially grandfathered in, someone can buy it and start running it as a golf course tomorrow, and they're not going to have to come back and talk to me, as long as they keep it a golf course. Obviously, if someone buys it and wants to do something else there, then I would definitely make a note, you know, again, if you came in to say, I'm gonna do something else that required one of my zoning boards, then they could address it. But unfortunately, I don't wanna get your hopes up. It's a golf course, it's been a golf course, so if it reopened tomorrow as a golf course, they don't even have to check with me.
Right, okay. Honestly, I hope it stays on.
Yeah, me too, that's why I'm not, but I don't wanna.
Well, it's a nice course if you golf.
Yeah.
Problem is, you don't know who your neighbor is, who's gonna be the next owner.
Have you tried in the past to deal with the owner, or has it been since it was kind of influenced?
Well, one of the neighbors on the shared drive is Rob Copeland's, which he had a lease with them, and he was running it here last year.
Oh, okay.
And he was going to take care of the issue, and I thought, yes, you know, but then he ended up just letting it go because of his own health issues and stuff, so he's not taking care of it anymore. And it went to sheriff's sale then, you know, he let the lease expire.
Because I'm kind of the Pollyanna that always says, well, first off, try talking to the business owner, but I understand that's a little difficult in this case.
Yes, yes. I doubt I'm going to get very far there with it, yeah, being in the situation it's in right now, so.
That's what I'm thinking. I think right in front, Mary Ann might be interested in that piece of property out there.
Just what you need, too.
You could lock down the Gulf Empire of Fairfield Township. Think about it, Mary Ann. Think about it.
We'll help you with a new name. Valley Golf 2? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Miller, do you have anything else? Mary Ann?
All's good. Just observing. Thank you.
Mike?
Once again, great job on keeping the roads clean. What bit of a winter we've had, so
Thank you.
just want to make sure that everybody.
You want to buy a golf course?
Oh, well,
Yeah,
Mary
there
Ann
we
will
go,
manage it and run it. And you'll back me financially, yeah, sure.
Who?
You.
I got too many children. Michelle?
No, nothing else good. Thank you.
Joanne?
Just visiting, no complaints.
Not even with him?
Well, that's a different story.
All right, anything else from anybody? Mel, anything?
No, I think I got it all covered.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Why is it? I'm putting your tire cleaner. She loves when I do tire. Yeah, well.
You want to give it back to Pat? Yeah.
Oh, Mary Ann.